coaches, this is Coach Matthews, kmatthewsfootball.com. Today we're going to take a look at our cover 3 package and specifically how we defend strong side 3-man combination routes. One of the biggest weaknesses of cover 3 is when the offense wants to flood or send 3 receivers to the strong side. It's something that we have to be aware of if we're going to run cover 3, and also there's some adjustments that we can use to help better match up against that. And so that's what we're going to look at today. First, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of draw up where the weakness is so that we all understand how it exists. Then we're going to take a look at our trips check that we use just as our default trips check, and then we're going to look at how we can apply that check to 21 personnel, 2-back personnel. Okay? So first and foremost, this is where the conflict rises, right? If we look at the weak side of the formation, a common route pattern that you'll see, we can release this back to the flat and get a curl right here by the wide receiver. So we can match up to this just fine. We have our weak safety dropping to the curl and then going to the expanding to the flat as the running back threatens it. Our will linebacker dropping to the hook and then expanding to the curl, and then our corner will be dropping and he'll be over top of that curl. We've got that route concept well defended. To the strong side, we can see the same thing, right? We can have the tight end release to the flat, and we get the curl right here. And again, we can defend this 2-man combination just fine. We got the corner over top of the curl, strong safety dropping to the curl and expanding to the flat, and the Sam linebacker dropping to the hook and expanding to the curl. The problem is there's a third potential receiver here, right? This back could release from the backfield into the hook area, and we've got no one there to cover him as the Sam linebacker has expanded to the curl area. So we've got a problem, right? So there's something that we have to do to defend that. Typically what we're going to do is we're going to, just as a default way, we're going to tell the Sam to not expand with that, and we're going to be weak in the hook here. We got someone over top, but we're not necessarily going to be strong in defending that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to erase this, and we're going to drop a trips formation and show you our trips check that we use when there are already 3 receivers to this side, and we know that that's probably what's going to happen. This is the check that we're going to use. We call it push. So this, I call it push. It's the same thing as like what Nick Saban calls Mabel. Call it whatever you want. We call it push because we're pushing our coverage to the strong side. So simple trips formation drawn up here. Got our corner, strong safety, Sam, will, weak safety, corner, free safety. All right, and what we're going to do here on the back side, we're going to lock up the corner man-to-man on the number 1 receiver. The weak safety is going to be man-to-man on the back with the number 2 receiver, unless he crosses to the strong side of the formation, in which case he's going to look for another receiver coming back to his side. So he's got him man-to-man. If he releases strong side, he's looking for a crosser coming back the other way. To the trip side, what we're going to have is we're going to have our strong safety. He's not dropping curl flat, he's dropping flat right now. Sam dropping to the curl, and the will is going to push to the strong hook area. And his job basically is going to defend this area, but if number 3 is running a post, so if we get something like this, he's going to turn, collision, run with that post, and he's pushing it vertical where our free safety is there to help. And that's really going to help us if we get 4 vertical concepts. Everybody's sinking. And so we can defend a 4 vertical concept. But we're not looking at 4 vertical today, we're looking at strong side flood combinations. So we can see how we can successfully defend that same route combination we drew up earlier with our push check. If we get, let's say this guy goes to the flat, this guy runs a curl, and this guy's sitting in the hook. Sam push into the flat, strong safety push into the flat, Sam push into the curl, will push into the hook. We've got that well defended. Okay? So with that in mind, we're going to take this back to the 21 personnel, the 2 running backs, 1 tight end look that we drew up before, and we're going to see how we can use push just as a call if we know that's what the offense is going to do, and how also we can kind of read and run push on the fly based on the protection scheme that the offense uses. right, so if we expect the offense to come out and run some kind of strong side three-man combination route, we can just call push as the coverage call that we want to use, and we'll immediately have them push their coverage. He's manning up on the back here, he's manning up here. They're not in trips, but they're gonna run a concept that's gonna threaten us three receivers to the strong side. We're just gonna call push and run that coverage. If we're not sure what they're gonna do, we can alert our defenders that we're gonna run cover three, but be alert to check to push during the play. So what'll happen is, we're running our normal cover three, we're getting depth here, depth here, depth here. He's pushing curl flat. He's got hook, hook, curl flat. If the offense chooses to run a route, just any route combination where they're going to release him, the weak side back, we're just going to run cover three. But if he stays in protection, let's say we get some kind of blocking scheme like this, he inserts himself and he stays in protection, we're going to have the will just start alerting push and just screaming push, push, push. And what he's going to do is he's going to push his coverage to the strong hook, he's pushing his coverage to the curl, and he's going to push his straight to the flat. He's not releasing, so he's not a threat, so we can continue to do our cover three drops on this side. We don't have to man it up. But if they want to run that curl flat concept and releasing the third receiver into the hook, we've got it defended. And so that's just a way that we can use push based on the blocking scheme that the offense chooses to use. If they're not going to threaten us with this guy, then we're going to push our coverage to the strong side. All right, well, thank you, coaches. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out more at kmatthewsfootball.com.